All right. We are live here on twitch.tv/Perry Von Vicious, an IRL stream, a rare occurrence, some funky lighting. I am here in the gym, and you'll probably see me have to come over to the computer and readjust a number of times. I've never done a gym stream before, and I'm going to be a little bit tethered as I'm attached to a large TV so that I can see your chats a little bit better in the moment. So you're going to see my entire process for a workout here. Including how I get the content that I put up on YouTube and Instagram and all that. That's why I've got my quick little tripod with my phone here. So I'm still going to get those clips even though I'm doing a full live stream workout. So this is going to be something else. I'm going to be moving you around a little bit, following me. I really don't have a game plan for this part of it. This part, I know exactly what I'm doing. Today I'm doing back and biceps. It's not the longest workout I have, but it's a hard one. It's a hard one because I'm a big and heavy guy. So some of the lifts for back have to be pretty heavy because they're body weight and I'm heavy myself. So we're going to jump right into it. I thankfully do have you all on the microphone on my headphones here. So you'll hear me as I'm moving around the gym. They've got this is my intra workout. Some people would use this as a pre or as a post. It's just BCAAs, just branched chain amino acids, and creatine. I go with the blue raspberry icy flavor. I like it. It's cheap. I find that it doesn't really matter what kind I get. I have pretty similar results with all of them. Little beverage ASMR for everybody there. And yeah, you'll see me set that down in different places throughout the workout here. Sometimes it's over on my homemade rack for my weights. It's over in the corner there, made out of some 2x4s. Shout out to fellow pro wrestler Warhorse, who put up a tutorial on his YouTube years and years ago on how to make one of those. I just followed that. Super easy, came together real quick, sturdy as heck. All right, and I am still suiting up a little bit for the workout here. I use the wrist straps, the old wrist support. Again, the weights I lift are not terribly heavy, but I'm not the young man I once was. I'm a couple months away, month and a half away. Geez, yeah, about a month and a half away from turning 41. But these simple little wraps are fairly inexpensive. I've had them for 3 or 4 years. They're practically like new. They just give me a little extra support. So yeah, I had my first sip of my intra. I tend to space that based on where my exercises fall through the night. So I'll be starting off, and I'm going to move you into place so you can see a little bit better here. Oh, hey, Dizzy Hellfire rolling in. Hey, what's going on? Yeah, I know it's a workout stream. I decided I'd give it a shot. Enough people seemed interested that I figured it was time. So just getting ready for the first exercise here. I'm going to be doing pull-ups, wide grip pull-ups on my power rack here. And these are a hard movement because it's body weight and I'm heavy. Like I'm super heavy. I am the heaviest I've been while considering myself in shape currently. Ooh, I gotta wipe off my lens. Currently I weigh about 245 pounds, which is not a terrible weight at 6'3", but it is one that's it makes doing pull-ups hard. They're hard. All right, so I always record my first set because it's the one that comes off the cleanest because I'm fresh. Because as I continue through these, I'm just going to get more tired. So I'm going to go ahead and capture the content here. And we're going to fire up for the first set. I aim for 8 or 9. Sometimes it's not quite that many. All right, 8 it is. That first one, the first one's always the strongest, the very first movement. And I did touch my head to the insulation up in my ceiling roof here. So that's a pretty good one when I'm going that hard. All right. Next, you're going to have kind of a different angle here, bringing us over. This is where my main rack lives. Got my pull down here, and mostly I come over this way because I have a big mirror on the wall that I can look at and watch my form. And down there, I have my dumbbells. And I'm about to go into alternating curls with dumbbells here. I start with my slightly lighter ones. I go to the heavier ones for all the rounds after that. All right, let's see. Dizzy says, I'm just over here trying to crochet a scarf. Went to an amazing concert in Orlando for Ninja Sex Party. Yo, that's awesome. And the Tupperware remix part. Wow. What a pairing. Hey, Nickabeans made it. Made it to the first ever workout stream. All right. So again, I alternate between one body part and the next. That's just what works out best for me. So just did my first set of pull-ups. So now I'm coming over to do alternating dumbbell curls. With this lighter weight, I alternate. So I aim for 15 total, which ends up being 3 rounds of 10, just because it's, 2 arms. And as I come up, you'll see the inside, I try to pull up toward my chest. It's basically turning my hand upward, pulling the pinky in toward my chest. Activates the inner portion of the bicep. The hardest part when I'm on the lighter weight with this is just it feels like it takes forever. It feels like I'm standing here a long time. All right. And that earns those lighter ones a break. They get to sit for a bit. All right. Move us back over to about here, where we can see the rack in the distance. See, Dizzy Hellfire says, Ninja Sex Party are a comedy duo heavily inspired by Weird Al. What comedy duo isn't? Flight of the Conchords and Huey Lewis in the News. That's awesome. Tupperware Remix Party are a Canadian band from space and here from the future and past. That sounds like there's a few bands I know that kind of fit that mold. All right, so on the last set with this power rack, I did wide grip pull-ups. I alternate those back and forth with the slightly closer grip and chin-ups. So rather than palms out, it's palms in. This hits both the lats and the biceps kind of at the same time. And I'll hit that. I'll do another round of curls, and then I get my first relief sip of my intra drink. The intra drink becomes sort of my little treat between every few sets. All right, we're gonna capture this for content. Yeah, we're gonna call it on 8 there too. Whew. Whew. Oh, Dizzy says they also have robots. Of course, all the great bands have robots live. Whew. Awesome. They sound great. Whew. All right, we're going to call that recorded. That's it for filming the pull-ups. All right. Point us back over at the rack here, and you'll see exactly how I get my Instagram clips. And it can take a little trial and error every time getting the right height so my head isn't cut off in frame, but you can clearly see what's happening. Whew, that'll work. This is an interesting experience. I'm not used to doing all this talking between sets. I feel like it's more exhausting this way. I'm going with the slightly heavier dumbbells here. The last ones I had were 25s plus the bar, so they're 30-pound dumbbells. The ones I'm grabbing now are, what's that? It's 30, 35. So the next ones are 40. So these are definitely heavier. I've never actually done the math. I've just been adding plates over time and not thinking about it. All right. Yeah. Here we go. This is an interesting feeling, doing all this multitasking. Getting my Instagram content while doing the live stream here. All right, let's see what the chat's up to. Kev Barrow 912, male moaning stream. This is what I love this platform for. It's my first time ever trying a workout stream. Whew. Hey, Cody Brooks in the house. Welcome. Getting a few of the regulars strolling in on an off night. We're not usually here on not usually streaming on a Wednesday, but every Monday and Tuesday, 9 p.m. you can find me here. Who doesn't love male moaning? Hey, whatever everybody enjoys. If everyone wants to hear my labored breathing as I attempt to be in better shape, I'll take it. Yeah, maybe this is my launching point to starting an OF or something. For those who joined late, my intro drink is just branched chain amino acids and creatine. Real simple. Nothing that really nothing that does a lot of elevating the heart. You know, it's a stim free intra. See what Kev Bear says. You have a fast concentric and a lower eccentric. Fast on the way up, slow on the way down. Maximize muscle hypertrophy. Having trouble pronouncing things. Get better gains. Yeah, I will often aim for that. Certain exercises, for me, it's just not going to happen. For example, the pull-ups at 245 pounds, I'm taking what I can get there. And with the curls, you know, honestly, I base it entirely on what I feel for a pump. And with a slightly lighter weight, I can get a little bit more controlled pump and a little bit more control on where it's hitting the muscle, you know, turning the pinky in on the way up, really feeling that inner half of the bicep. But I do find overall at the end of a workout, if I go lighter with it that way, I don't fill up quite as much. You know, the blood doesn't get in there quite the same way. Yeah. I mean, my weight's been an interesting story. Um, when I started wrestling 17 and a half years ago almost, I was a 300-pound chubby guy. I was just a chubby guy and did not look like a wrestler unless you were talking about like King Kong Bundy, maybe. And over time, because between training, like in-ring training, I should say, between in-ring training and just seeing photos and pictures of myself all the time, you kind of get in your head about how you want to look. And I've been all over the place. I got as light back in 2010. I got all the way down to about 95 pounds. The lightest I ever hit was almost 85, but that was or sorry, not 95, 195. 195 was the lightest I ever got on my own. About 185 was how light I got after a very bad stomach flu. I was a full-time teacher at the time my kids got me sick. Um, and that was too skinny. I'm 6'3". I don't know how it reads on this particular camera, but yeah, 195, 185, 190. I was too skinny. It didn't read right. Um, right now I'm at 245. I've got a fair bit of muscle that happens. It's starting to come together. Hey, no better time to finally get in shape for the ring than as I approach age 41. All right. So I got two more sets on the pull-ups, two more sets of the alternating curls, and then we're going to switch it up to the next round. I always go one set of back exercises to one arm exercise, switch back and forth between the two. Whew. All right. And these are hard at 245 pounds. I could do pull-ups like a maniac when I was 210, 215. All right. I'll squeeze out two more. Yeah, not pretty, but those last two that I squeeze out there, that's just so that the next time it's a little bit better. Quick info on stuff. Yeah, I'll look them up for sure. Whew. I'm being a little more slow at getting caught up on the chat today, just because it's not like when I'm on here playing games or when I'm doing 3D modeling or when I'm working on toys in the workshop, because I'm having to maintain focus and get to the next exercise. It is nice though. We've reached that point in the year where I can be down here in shorts and a tank top and feel nice and comfortable. All winter when I'm down here bundled up, the worst, the absolute worst. All right. I'm going to turn you guys so that I'm not losing you on these. Got the pole directly in the way. That's good framing. All right. Whew. I'm reading Diz's chat there, and I will say, Diz, no matter how you might feel about your weight, the fact that you have the confidence to type a number on the screen, that's awesome. Some people get really self-conscious about that stuff. You know, they feel like ashamed or something. But one of the things that I tried to keep in mind, especially when I was heavier, is that the number we attach to ourselves, that's our weight, it's temporary. It's where we are right now. I mean, hell, a year ago this time, I was closer to about 230. And a year and a half ago this time, when I was training in Japan with Tajiri, and I was walking 10 miles a day in 100-degree weather, training for almost 4 hours every day in the ring, and then walking to the gym to go lift for an hour. When that happened, I was closer to about 220. So, like, what you weigh is a temporary situation. Ho, the Grizz crew raiding on workout night. Whew, coming in to join for some back and biceps. Good to see you guys. Welcome. Grizz crew's always good for a raid. They always hop in and hang out. Whew, you're catching me right between sets. I'm all winded. I look like I do at the end of a match. No worries, Kev Bear. Thanks for hanging out, bud. All right. We're on to the last set of close grip chin-ups, then one last set of alternating curls, then we'll move on to the next round of exercises. Whew. And for the Grizz crew just joining, this stuff where I'm lifting my body weight was a lot easier when I was a lot skinnier. But at 245, it's a lot of weight to move. All right. If I can hit 6 here, I'll be happy. 8, I'll be ecstatic. All right. We'll call that at 7. Ooh. Ooh. Felt those. I'm doing good, Grizz. I'm doing good. You know, this is something I'm trying for the first time, doing a workout stream down here in the gym. Well, I catch my breath before the curls here. I hope everyone appreciates the cool lighting. All my LEDs, my multicolored bulbs. If I point us over toward my studio, the color-changing bulbs. Got what you can't see directly behind you here is a big screen TV and a bunch of monster truck flags from racetracks. What you can see are my sumo wrestling support towels, the Monster Jam blanket. I got some action figures on the wall over there, a bunch of framed monster truck pictures. You know, I have a simple theory, and it's that working out is kind of miserable 90% of the time. So if you can find ways to make your workouts fun, it just makes you more likely to actually do the workout. And for me, the fun means goofy stuff on the walls. Usually, if I wasn't doing this and I wasn't risking copyright strike, I have a little Bluetooth speaker there. I got music playing. Usually, if I'm not watching my own stream, over on that TV, I'll have old school wrestling playing. You know, you got to find ways to make it fun. I wear goofy tank tops of indie rock bands with monster trucks on them. You know, you find ways to make it fun. All right, last set of alternating curls. And I can set these aside and we can get into some of the exercises I actually enjoy. These first two, the pull-ups and the curls, they drain on me, man. They drain on me. Curls are like the first exercise everyone learns when they pick up a weight. So it's something I've been doing since I was, 14 or 15. So me and the curls have a long history. All right. Last round of these bad boys. All right. Whew. So for those keeping count, for those keeping track, that was 4 sets of pull-ups broken out as 2 wide grip pull-ups, 2 sets of wide grip pull-ups, 2 sets of narrow grip chin-ups, and 4 sets of alternating dumbbell curls. Now I get to have my little bit of relief here, my intra drink. Once again, for those watching after the fact, you'll have heard it a few times. For those who may have just joined, all this is branched chain amino acids, BCAAs, and creatine. Creatine helps your muscles absorb water more efficiently. And branched chain amino acids, there are 9 branched chain amino acids that exist within a protein strand. And in order for your body to absorb protein correctly, you have to get all 9. There's only so many ways to get all 9. Certain meats have it. Things like tofu only have 7 or 8 of those branched chain amino acids. But if you supplement with branched chain amino acids in like an intra drink, you can absorb all that you need from all of those sources. For me, when I'm done here, my go-to after this, I have a protein shake. Once that's settled, I have a little bit of rice with some tuna, and that's like my before bed snack. Man, you got more muscles than me. I appreciate it, Grizz. I need them. You see what I do in the ring. And I have a rhythm that I drink this down throughout my workout. Because I find if I drink all of it too fast, my stomach gets a little too upset. Too much liquid at once when you're being really active can really upset your tummy. So I take just a solid sip, one good sized gulp every 4 sets. So again, when I'm working out, I break them into sets of 2, where I do a set of that, a set of that, a set of that, a set of that. That's my 4. I get my beverage. Then I go back, set of that, set of that, set of that, set of that. That's done for those exercises. I get another drink. Now I've had my drink. Now we're moving on. The next round I do for back and bicep day, I do dumbbell rows, bent over dumbbell rows, and we're going to set up for that over at the power rack. And then I use this, one of my favorite purchases I made during COVID. That was a curbside pickup for $20 off Facebook Marketplace. That is my preacher bench. Absolutely adore that. It's one of my absolute favorite exercises. Anytime I have access to a real gym, that's one of my go-tos. So when I had the opportunity to get one for cheap to put in my own gym, I jumped at it, let me tell you. All right. So I'm setting you up over here by my squat rack. And you're going to see that what I do here for my dumbbell rows is I use the bar that's here on the power rack as my steadying space. It's the thing I lean against, so I get a good solid stance back. I'm going to lean forward to here. One arm's going to be resting on there. Back is straight. I'm going to bend down, grab the barbell or dumbbell, and I'm going to row just like that. This again works the lat. Oh, Graves is in the chat. Hey, welcome. Yeah, you're joining me on workout night here. It's back in biceps day. Whew. Talking to the chat has been a great way to have a brief break to catch my breath and think between sets. I feel like I've had a fair bit of the chat mocking me tonight. We had a first-time viewer in earlier who introduced himself simply by saying, "Male grunting stream. This is why I love Twitch." Let's see. Oh, nice. This has been crocheting throughout this. All right. So this is the heaviest set dumbbell that I have. I can add weight to it, but I really don't need to. That's 225 plates plus a 8-pound bar. That's what I use for my my dumbbell rows. These I tend to aim for 12 per arm. All right. Just checking my angles here. There we go. That's right. Feet for free in this economy. What am I thinking? All right, here we go. All right. And there's one set. Thanks, Diz. All right, and now I'm relocating you all over to the preacher rack. This next I have my my easy curl bar doing preacher curls. I like these because they isolate your arms from doing any movements that don't benefit the muscle you're immediately working. It takes your shoulders out of it, it takes your back out of it, your legs out of it. It all just comes down to biceps. Whew. This says, how are the chickens doing? And the purr balls. The chickens are doing great. Their egg production has slowed down a little bit. Like, they can't keep up with me these days. I have 4 eggs with my breakfast every morning, and the 5 of them can't quite keep up with that. So I've been supplementing by buying the pre-done things of egg whites. Whew. But even that, I only need 1 or 2 of those a week, and then the eggs the chickens make get me by. All right, so I got the easy curl bar. That's what this little divot is. It lets your wrists kind of bend in. It's a little more ergonomic. Some people do make the argument that a flat bar is better. Really depends on what you're trying to hit. Because I take so much effort to pull the pinky in as I come up in my curl, that's giving me that same effect as a flat bar. So my alternating curls kind of took care of that. Yeah, and this is an interesting thing because I haven't thought about how much weight I have on here in a very long time. I know the bar is 15. These are 25. Those are 10s. So I got 10, 20 plus 50 is 70 plus 15. So it's 85 pounds on here. And I could start light and then go up as I go. I like to just stick one weight and stick with it because I'm lazy. I don't like to move plates around. Whew. All right. That's enough explaining. I'll go ahead and blow through a set of this. And then on the next set, you'll see me breaking out the phone and recording for Instagram. All right. Yeah. All right. Whew. And that's 12. Oh. Whew. Pain in the butt on those. All right. Sorry, I'm just seeing some of the chat from up above. But yeah, you know, that's the chickens make fewer eggs as they get older. And the first 3 that we got, turn 5 in like a week. I think it's next weekend, or maybe the weekend after. It's on my calendar because I'm that kind of nerd. And then, yeah, the other ones are only a year younger. A lot of folks will tell you, especially farm folks, will tell you that chickens really only make eggs for 3 years. That's clearly not the case. Mine are still making eggs, and they're getting on in years. But chickens do tend to only live to about 8. On a farm, of course, they rarely live past 2 or 3, and that's if they're egg producers. But yeah, so our chickens all got a few years left in them. And as for the cats are fine. Normal is still a pain. Doozy's still fat, and Huffy is still harmless. I guess that's the best description I could give of Huffy. All right, I'm gonna set my phone up here so I can get my clip of the rows for Instagram. All right, and if my Instagram stories over time have looked very similar, if it feels like they repeat a lot, it's because I don't change this routine up very much. I don't need to. The weights either get bigger or the reps go higher. That's all you got to do. And I've kind of learned where the angles are for all these, so I kind of put the phone in the same spot every time. All right, round 2 of dumbbell rows. All right. Whew. And there's half my sets of dumbbell rows. I'll get my shots set up here. This is the complicated and embarrassing part of doing this as a live stream. Everyone gets to see me out of breath in between exercises, whereas on Instagram, the clips just go zipping by. I look like Superman. But speaking of me being out of breath, if you want to see more of me being out of breath, check out the dates scrolling by below. Come out, see me wrestle live. There's going to be a lot more dates added really soon. So look forward to that. Come out, say hi, stop by the merch table, buy some toys. We got new shirt designs coming. I got one that's already ordered, another one being drawn up as we speak. 2 cool designs that I'm really, really excited about. You know, I never put out a shirt I'm not excited for. So when I have 2 new designs at the same time, you can be guaranteed there's something special. All right. Round 2 of preacher curls. Yeah. Those last ones where you get stuck part of the way. When you hold through those and then kind of force that last bit of movement to get them up, I've always been told that's where growth happens. I don't actually know if that's true, but I still force myself to do it. It's good. If I don't do that, it doesn't feel like I'm pushing myself. All right. Every so often in the course of this, I've got my phone on Do Not Disturb so I can stream. But every so often, I'm going to just check, make sure there's nothing important slipping by. Whew. But that was 2 and 2. So I'm halfway through this round, which means I get another bit of relief here. That charming little move you get to hear over and over. A little lid on these. Likes to have a bit of the stuff stuck on it. And if you try to drink while it's still there, it drips on you and makes a mess. So I always kind of get it clean. And I thought that was weird that I did that. I thought that was like just a gross habit I developed because I work out alone. And then virtually every other wrestler I've worked out with, I see them do the exact same thing. So I think it's just a flaw in the general design of the lids on these things. Weird, right? All right. I'm going to see if I bring you guys far enough over here. Do we get both exercises in one shot? I think we do. It would be great if I could take a break from moving this for a minute. Yeah, that's the thing that's making the workout hard. I have to move the camera every so often. Wow, there's a timer that runs on my little streaming app here. I never look at the time while I'm working out. 42 minutes in. I don't know if that means I'm slow or fast. All right. So we got 2 more sets of dumbbell rows, 2 more sets of preacher curls. Then we move on to our final exercises. All right. Dumbbell rows. Here we go. And I mentioned it before. If you're watching me for anything about form, if you're trying to learn anything at all, I can really stress on this. Keep the back straight. If you're hunched, you can get injured really hard because your back's going to try to compensate for some of the lifting. If you're straight and your back is arched even a little bit, then all the weight comes down on the support arm. Your back's taken out of the equation altogether because you don't want to be working this part of the back on this exercise. It's right here. It's the lat, the wing, the part that when guys do this and then they get really wide all of a sudden, that makes that V taper. That's the part that this exercise is for. And done correctly, you can feel it as you come up. Part of that is you're mostly pulling from these 3 fingers because that keeps the wrist kind of back, and that keeps a lot of the focus in the back as opposed to the arms or the shoulders. And you want to keep the arm in. You're in. You're not out here. You're not doing this. You're in. You're coming right up along the skin. That also keeps the focus on the muscle you're trying to work. All right, here we go. All right. I'll turn it a little bit. Why not? Yeah, I genuinely can't tell if this is making the workout go faster or slower. I never time myself when I do these. The only time that I feel like I have any semblance of how long my workouts go is if I'm working out on the same night as one of my video game streams, because those tend to end at like 11 at night. So I get down here at about 11:30, and I really try to have them over by about 1 o'clock. I apologize about my voice today. Doing cardio outside with all the pollen, the incredible amounts of cottonwood, the little fluffy pollen guys falling, absolutely shredded my throat. But the cardio's got to get done, and I like being out in the sun more than I like doing the cardio down here on the treadmill. It's a good treadmill, but not a lot of natural light for it. Especially since I have all the basement windows blacked out because I do UV resin 3D printing down here, and letting sunlight in could cause chaos. Whew. All right. Round 3 of the preacher curls. Yeah, there we go. Whew. Got this one pole that's just constantly in the way here. There we go. That'll work. All right. About to be last round of dumbbell rows, last round of preacher curls. Then we have a very quick break before the final set, because for those who've seen my Instagram stories, my YouTube shorts, and my TikToks, I always, at the end of the workout, I have a big flexing picture. So I got to take that, and between round 2 and 3 is usually when I find I've got a good pump and I've got just enough momentum where I can stop, take the picture, and then hop right back in. So we'll sneak that in there. Whew. All right. Last round of dumbbell rows. Yeah. All right. That's that for dumbbell rows. I can get rid of this giant heavy thing. Yeah, feel free to add me on TikTok. Absolutely. It's my least favorite platform, maybe after Twitter, but least favorite of the ones that I actively use currently. But I do post. I try to get something up there every day. All right. We're on to our last round of preacher curls, which is good. Preacher curls give me a really solid pump. Makes me look nice and big for my flexing picture. I'm just off camera here setting up for when I do take that picture. The less thinking, the less setup I have to do for it, the better. All right. Yeah, that's about where I'll need the camera. All right, great. And I know there's not a ton of folks in the live right now, but anyone who is watching on the live wants to weigh in real quick. I'll consider this a bit of a poll for the chat for my flexing picture for Instagram tonight. Just me? Or do I break out the Grind Grand Championship and take my picture with the belt? Sometimes I use the belt, sometimes I don't. Say it in the chat, with the belt or without. And while that happens, I'm going to crank out this last set of preacher curls. Whew. It's fun when I hit the point in the workout where I can feel that the skin on my arms is tighter because the muscles are swelling up and therefore the skin is just tighter on me. That's a cool feeling. Gives you a little bit of like accomplishment mid-workout. All right, here goes. Last set of these babies. Yeah. 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 There we go. Woo. All right. Finish with those. That was always the end of the workouts in Japan. That was how the Japanese would let us know we were done. They would just suddenly they would look very relieved. They would look at us and they would go, finish. That always made me smile. All right. I'm going to frame you up so you can all see me hamming for the camera over here. Take off the headphones for a sec so you won't hear me quite so good. Oh, wait. I take the mic off right as I see there's a chat that popped up. Luigi MP4. Random, but how do you decide on a workout outfit of the day? I love that question. Let me snap this picture real quick, and then we'll talk about my workout outfit, because there is a methodology to it. All right. And I've decided I'm taking the picture with the championship belt. Ooh. Ah. All right. Rough draft number 1. Whew. And yes, it's exactly that goofy every time I take my pictures. Let's see, how'd that come out? 1 and done? Oh, baby, 1 and done. I'm not redoing that. Let's go. First try. That's what I'm talking about. All right. Whew. All right, I'm back. So, the question was random, but how do you decide on a workout outfit for the day? When it comes to shorts or sweatpants in the winter, if it's really cold, I have a pair of black sweatpants and a pair of gray sweatpants that are both pretty warm. Those are my it's really cold pants. When it's slightly warmer, I have several pairs of Zubas, which are just like these, the zebra print, old school 80s workout pants. When summer rolls around, I stick to shorts as much as I can. Most days I have some sort of plain navy blue mesh shorts that I'll wear that are really comfortable. And honestly, if those don't get dirty in a day, I'll wear those 2, 3 days in a row. You know, they're just mesh gym shorts. They don't really get dirty or sweaty or anything. If it's leg day, I prefer my legs be less encumbered by certain shorts can be a bit longer. These ones would be fine. These ones are above the knee, so I don't have a lot of issue with that. And for certain exercises, I can pull them up a little bit. You know, they're pretty good. The slightly baggier shorts that I have, some gym shorts, I don't like those for leg day. I feel like they get caught up on stuff real easy. I don't want that. So for leg days, I have a cool pair of sweat shorts that I actually got from Mega 64. So they're a pair of Mega 64 sweat shorts. I love those on leg day. I have my training shorts from Kyushu Pro Wrestling in Japan. Those are great on a leg day. All right, I have my relief drink now. Before we start our final round of exercises. That's what I wear for the bottoms. For footwear, so I have some nagging foot injuries that change what footwear I can and can't wear depending on what I'm doing. For example, chest day, I have to wear sneakers because doing push-ups, I can't have weight directly on my toes. So I have to be wearing shoes for that. Obviously, when it's winter, I wear shoes the whole time because it's just so cold down here in the basement with a bare concrete floor. I also will wear footwear on leg day because of those nagging foot injuries. I need the extra support. I actually have special orthotic insoles that keep my feet safe. But on days like today, that's back and biceps, I'm barefoot. It's just more comfortable for me, especially in the summer when I want to feel cool. And I also do a shoulders and abs day. I like being barefoot for that too. Then as far as the tops go, honestly, it's vibe. Today felt like Boy Genius, and you know, almost everything I own has a monster truck on it somewhere. So that was the one for today. Not a whole lot of thought actually went into it. But there's definitely days like I have certain friends online I want to send a little wink and a nod to, and I'll wear a shirt that relates to them. You know, I have a Thick Daddy Andy Brown shirt that I cut into a workout shirt. I'll wear that sometimes. And then I have a Rip Bison shirt that I'll sometimes wear for leg day because he is a leg day fanatic. And then I also, you know, I've got a few shirts that are inside jokes to some people. You know, little Easter eggs, if you will. And I'll wear those on certain days just as a quiet little wink to friends. But, whew, all right. So the last set here is all going to be done with the power rack. So I can move us over there. So this last set is going to be, I was doing the dumbbell or the dumbbell rows before. Now I'm going to be doing barbell rows. These are bent over barbell rows. I'll have the entire barbell. I'll bend over about to here, back as straight as can be, and it's just rowing it back. This activates a fair bit of your lower back and your glutes, just keeping you upright. But it's, again, meant for the lats. It's all in that back pull motion. And then I'm going to alternate that with hammer curls. So that's instead of this grip for curls, they turn 90 degrees upright and they pull up like that. And I do them both at the same time. I don't alternate with these. I just go. And we'll see how that goes. Sometimes on this last set, I only do 2 sets of each if I'm running out of steam. Ideally, it's 4, but I don't beat myself up if I stop shy because, you know, I know what my goals are. I know what makes me feel good, and I know what feels like overkill. All right. So barbell rows and then hammer curls. Here we go. And for those keeping track, this is 25, 25, and a 10. So this is 120 plus a 20-pound bar. So this is a 140, which for a lot of people ain't that heavy. For me, it's plenty good. Sometimes I'll throw an extra 10 on each side, make it 160. You know, I don't really stress too much about it. But again, for me, the numbers that I'm lifting, the amount of pounds, is really irrelevant. For me, what I care about is functionality and like appearance, and it's all coming together. And honestly, appearance is dictated more by diet than anything else. All right. I feel real good about 12 on that. A lot of times I kind of max out around 10 with those. Yeah, I'm really starting to feel the thrashing that the pollen outside gave me today. For those who didn't hear me talking about it earlier, I do all my cardio outdoors. I do boxing, jump rope, and wind sprints in the driveway, and it has all just shredded my throat today. Ho ho! Joey Nails rolling in on a Wednesday night, catching the tail end of back and biceps day. All right, hammer curls. I start with my slightly lighter dumbbells, and then I go to my mid-high range dumbbells. These lighter ones we talked about earlier, they're about 30 pounds each. Just double checking I'm in frame at all over there. With those lighter ones, I consider it a bit of a warm-up set, so I go high. That was 15 reps, which honestly, with both arms at the same time, is a fair bit. Whew. Joey Nails, I saw you're wrestling for Mike Turner on Saturday, if I saw correctly. Got to tell you, I've been debating shooting him a message, seeing if he needs me on the show, because Speedway 95 has all-star monster trucks this weekend, and I'm pretty sure my buddy Chuck Plumley would get me into the show for free. So I've been sort of debating if I wanted to take the trip. I may message him. I'm checking with Rip Bison, seeing what he's doing, because he may ride along if we're doing that. All right, more barbell rows. Oh, you know what? Before I forget, I gotta bring the phone over. Gotta get the content for the gram for this. I was about to miss a whole set talking at the stream. Just come anyway. I miss you too, Joey Nails. All right, let's. You guys are really getting the behind the scenes here, seeing how all the content gets made. All right, and again, Joey Nails watching now. Keep the back straight on this. If you bend the back, you can hurt yourself. Keep the back straight. Keep all the work's being done by your lats right in here. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. When I hit one hard and fast like that, and I I hear the plates clang against the bar. That's pretty cool. Because that's not easy to do, especially late in a set or late in a workout. I mean, I'm rounding the bend toward the end of the workout here. Only a few sets left to go. All right, let's check on the old chat. My remarks rolling in. I'm working hard for the money. Earning every bit of every single payout I get by suffering alone in my basement. But at least it's weird, right? Funky lighting everywhere, monster trucks on the walls, action figures on the walls. You know, it's one of my big rules about working out. You got to find how to have fun. Adam NX67 rolling in to check out the Zubas. Let's go. Whew. All right. Round 2 of hammer curls. Here we go. We're going with the heavier ones here. These are, I did the math earlier. They're about 40 pounds each. All right. On these, if I can crack 10, I feel pretty good. Yeah, that 10th one was ugly, but we got there. And that's a wrap for Instagram content. Woo! All right. See what's going on over in the old chat here. You're not alone, Perry. Goes into anime inspiration compilation. Yeah. Boy, I wish my workouts felt like some of those anime montages. Hard work, heart, and support from your friends. You can accomplish anything. That's true for Joey Nails, too. Someday he's going to be bigger and more jacked than me. Just you watch. He'll get there. For those who strolled in late that are dying to see me flex, you missed when I took my Instagram picture for the story. But it was mostly something about here. That's the hard part, is for a long time, getting this to grow, getting the lat to grow, always a weak point for me. Getting that V taper that comes down from the arms into the waistline was really hard, but starting to get there now. It's a weird angle from the computer, but also growing the arms and biceps was never easy for me because I have really long arms. It's really hard, but you know, they're starting to get there. One of them often has an actual, there's a little bit of a vein there. I don't know if it's shown in the light, but that's pretty cool. That took a long time to get. Let's see. Joey Nail says I'm already on the gas. Monster truck trying to go from 396 to 454 big block. You betcha. That's right. Speaking my language. Here comes trouble. You guys are out of control. All right. I get a little bit of a relief beverage now. Joey Nails, because you got to pay attention. My intra drink while I work out, very simple. It is BCAAs, branched chain amino acids. You can get them just about anywhere. I prefer the raspberry blue icy flavor. Those just help you absorb proteins better. And creatine, which allows your muscles to absorb water a little bit more easily, helps you avoid tears and those kinds of things, but also helps muscle growth. So there's a lot of advice people have on how to take creatine. Some people will tell you have to go through a load phase where you take as much as 15 or 20 grams a day, and then you drop down to 5 grams a day. I've never found that to be the case. I don't do a load phase. It's 5 grams every time. The BCAAs are 7 grams. Both items are cheap and affordable on Amazon. And they're kind of tasty. This little beverage is my treat during my whole workout. I know Joey Nails is taking notes. The way I do my entire workout, the way I structure the whole thing, you've seen I go back and forth between a back exercise and my bicep exercise. I like to pair one of each so I can trade between the two. The biceps are resting and recovering while I do the back exercise, and then vice versa. The back is resting and recovering while I do the bicep exercise. It lets the whole workout move a little more quickly. And the way I structure how I drink my intra drink so that I get a little of it throughout the workout is I will do, for example, I started with curls and pull-ups. I did pull-ups, curls, pull-ups, curls. That's 2 sets each. I had a sip. I come back, pull-ups, curls, pull-ups, curls. Those exercises are done. I get another sip, move on to the next exercises. Real simple. But allowing it to come at me slowly means that I get to enjoy it here and there. I have something to look forward to, a little goal mid-workout, a little thing that I'm working toward. And it's better to absorb it more slowly. I find if I drink that stuff really quick, it can upset my tummy. It can also upset my tummy just in terms of, you ever drink a bunch of liquid and then you do something real physical, it upsets your tummy. Just trying to avoid that. All right, I'm going to check on the chat in just a sec. I saw some questions there. But first, got to keep the workout moving. Set number 3 of barbell rows. We are closing in on the end here, guys. All right, we'll take a look here, see what's going on. Joey Nail says, please text me recommendations for supplements. Absolutely, I'll shoot you a couple links. See some jokes about the blue beverage. It's Windex, if anyone asks. Don't. That's about being a bad influence. Don't drink Windex. Elmira says, Joey's taking notes. I'm taking bong rips. Hey, whatever works. I'm just here to entertain and to get a pump. That's right. And Dizzy's crocheting a scarf. That's true. Where Diz lives, it's down in Florida still, Diz. It's all hurricane season. Joey Nails writes down, drink Windex. Perry got canceled. He made some young boy drink Windex. That's how I always thought it would all end, you guys. The straight edge being a bad influence. All right. Set number 3 of hammer curls. After this, I'm going to go down to the lighter weight on these, sort of as a burnout at the end. Tenth one was still ugly, but I'll take it. Whew. All right, 1 set left to each of those. Then I'll say my goodbyes to tonight. We will raid the good brother Johnny Torres over on his stream. I believe he's live. It's usually live. Sure hope he's live. We're going to raid him either way, and we're going to find out. We all get over there and nobody's home. That'll be it. Joey Nails, your match this weekend. Are you defending your newly won tag team championships or what? Human Monster Truck says Windex is best workout treat. That's true. Sadly, Diz, I'm no longer in contact with Dr. Q. I can get a hold of Dr. Redacted. He could probably write you a prescription for Windex. Or antifreeze, excuse me. All right, one last set of barbell rows. One last set of hammer curls. And then I can be done with this workout. We can be gone with this workout. And I can resume my life. Elmira says, what about Dr. Beat? Is anybody calling Dr. Beat? Emergency. Paging Dr. Beat. I get references. I know things. All right, here we go. Last set of barbell rows. Woo. Everybody's getting some real interesting workout ASMR on this stream. I'm keenly aware of it. I don't usually work out with a microphone attached to me. In fact, all the workout clips I take from my Instagram stories and those things, I always strip the audio right off them because I put songs on for my stories. So I never hear my own workout clips. But right now, because I'm aware that I'm streaming, I'm very much hearing myself, even with noise-canceling headphones on. And it's weird. It's weird. It's maybe the most self-aware I've ever been while working out. And that's saying something because I used to work at an all-women's college, a very famous one up here in the Northeast, probably the most famous all-women's college in the Northeast. And I would use their gym to work out. And I was completely unself-aware. I was always in a corner of the gym that no one else went to, had my headphones on in my own world. I was probably grunting like I've been doing on this stream. All those poor college kids probably thought I was crazy. But now I've got this cathedral to working out in my basement, filled with monster truck pictures and action figures and sumo banners and monster truck flags and silly lights that change color. So I don't need any of that anymore. Oh, that's right, Dr. Worm, that's a good one. The Doctor, I'm assuming that is Doctor Who. Pump it real good. Whew. All right, last set of anything is set number 4 of hammer curls. I'll go for a slightly higher number here, a 12 or a 15 if I can. When I go to these lighter weights, I try to stay real strict, try to keep the elbows set right where they are. Really no rocking of the body. Whew. Earned every bit of that. Yes. Finally lose my wrist straps. I can have my last sip of my intro drink, and we can call that a successful workout. My favorite kind of day for a workout. It was sunny, it was warm. It means I can get a little bit of a sweat even down here in the basement where it's much cooler than it is outside. Whew. All right, before before we call it a stream here, bring us on over, close us on out here. Whew. I've been lifting weights since I was in my teens. I only got really serious probably in the last 10 years, and it never gets a whole lot easier. You either lift heavier or you lift with more reps, and it just never gets easy, and it just makes it's always hard. But that said, it's also pretty fun. Like, I have a good time lifting weights. Whew. All right, and with that, I am going to jump us over. We are going to raid Mr. Johnny Torres, my old pal, the voice of New England wrestling. Thank you all so much for hanging out here on my first, who knows, maybe last workout stream. If you enjoyed it, let me know. Go ahead and subscribe over on the YouTube. Follow me on my socials, yada, yada, yada. It's all been going by down on the bottom ticker there. But for now, I'm going to hop us over to Johnny Torres' stream. We're going to go hang out with him for a bit. Please join me in rating my friend. Show him some support as well. He's one of the good ones. Until next time, thanks for hanging out, and I will see you all again soon.